I recently found an old cup of milk in my car and it wasn't mine. But the joy of it is that it was actually not still in the cup. And you think to yourself, then where was the milk? It was in the cup holder. Sans cup. Yes. I had to scoop it out because at that point, it was a little solid. And when I asked who did it, I got an unclear answer. And they giggled. And I just tried an Erewhon smoothie for the first time in LA. And there's a couple things that I'm taking issue with. First of all, why is it enough calories for a whole meal replacement? Everybody knows you're supposed to have a smoothie with your meal. We're not chewing anything. We were in LA for a couple reasons. For NGL, I got to sit down with some guests, 2 in particular. Both absolute icons. And I'm still kind of thinking that it might not have been real. But Queen Emma's nodding and she's saying it actually happened. It was delightful. I think you'll and maybe you'll eat some. If you don't know what I'm saying, that's fine. You'll find out eventually. We might even bleep that. Who knows? Emma might think that's too direct for both. Who knows? Queen Emma, are you going to let that stay?
We'll see.
That is an absolute top tier mom answer. We'll see.
We'll see.
We will, won't we? Yep. We will see.
I might just bleep parts of it.
Perfect. Let's do that.
So that's what you heard.
Coming up on today's episode, a loaded doom scroll where I'm going to talk about how Jason would do in the pregnancy watermelon challenge. I'm also going to get some new Ask Me Some Things questions from the real ones about tattoos and public toddler tantrums. We've all been there. After that, I'm going to be joined by another gold medalist, star forward for the Washington Spirit and the U.S. women's national team, Trinity Rodman. No business. None. But here we are again. Yeah? Yeah, so stay tuned for that. But before we get to any of that, let's start things off with some Real One comments of the week. And it looks like we're going with the theme of rage bait this week. That always ends well for everyone here. Someone said, the podcast is great, but I don't understand why somebody with Kylie's intelligence, here we go, has to swear like she does. It's like listening to a 16-year-old. I think I should be able to let my kids listen to the podcast and not be concerned about her swearing. Terry. Can I call you Terry? Great. I really appreciate this. But if you look up intelligent people swearing, there are studies that were done that suggest that people who swear more, you guessed it, higher intelligence. So I'm not saying that, but also the insult of saying that you're listening to a 16-year-old. I'm okay with you saying I sound young. I'm actually going to take that as a win. So I'm really sorry that your kids have never heard you curse ever in their whole lives. Maybe when they grow up, they will decide whether or not they want to curse when it's appropriate for them to do so, much like my children. But they hear me curse all the time. We've set boundaries. They know that they're not allowed to do that. And that it's really just enhancement to my thoughts and feelings. Queen Emma, you're funny for choosing all this rage bait.
Thanks.
It's a quarterly reminder on the show. We love quarterly reminders where people like to say that I shouldn't curse as much. Here's the deal. I know when to and when not to curse. Now, my space. This is my space here in the studio. And I'm speaking to other adults, right? That's what this podcast, the demographic that we are targeting is other adults. So I'm actually speaking the way I would speak to other adults. Now, when I speak to my children, I do not curse. When I speak at a coaching engagement or something with field hockey or something with young kids or a camp or this or that or anywhere where there are other people's kids within earshot, you're not going to catch me lighten it up with curse words. Okay. I don't do it. We do have occasional swear-free episodes. The only brands that have been approved for a swear-free episode are Disney, period. That's it. So if you would like to go watch a swear-free episode, you can find 2 episodes of that. One with my mother-in-law, Donna. Shout out to her, my Disney queen. And the other episode is our Paris episode in Disneyland Paris with the Mar sisters. Okay. Otherwise, I'm going to say whatever the fuck I want. So this podcast is actually rated adult, explicit, not for children. And so if you have a problem with cursing, which we have made abundantly clear is going to be a regular occurrence on the show, you can kindly, that's right, you can kindly fuck off. This is an actual piece of artwork in my podcast studio. This is from GS Print Shop, shop spelled SHOPPE if you want to get yourself one. Well, now that that topic's been addressed for this quarter, let's get right into Doom Scroll of the Week, brought to you by Bare Minerals, mineral powered, life approved. First up on Doom Scroll, I've been seeing a lot of the pregnancy melon challenge on my feed. You know, it's watermelon season, so why not strap one to your husband in the heat of the summer? That makes a lot of sense. Queen Emma, can you show us?
For a little bit.
I think I can do it.
Famous last words.
All right.
Famous last words. It's easy.
Yeah, Beji. Baba Beji.
So for our audio listeners, she did strap a watermelon to his belly with saran wrap, but she also doubled down. And by doubled down, I mean she strapped 2 cantaloupes to his titties. He can't get his shoes on. He's picking up toys. He's very out of breath. I like this a lot. I like this a lot because this is sensitivity training. We can't have a whole bunch of feelings about how your wife moans and groans every time she gets off the couch, or when she has to roll herself out of bed, literally, or when your back hurts and you know you can't stand up too long, and maybe you can't get your shoes on. That's for real, for real. I think that Jason would have some trouble. Not because of why you think, well, maybe. I think football has done a number on his body already. And I think that if we tried to strap this much weight to the front of him, that he might have severe back problems for days. The good news is that he has bigger boobs than me already. So I don't know that the cantaloupes are necessary, but we could keep it as an option. I think that I would be more excited to do the period cramp simulator. I like the idea of a TENS machine because when you strap women to it and you slowly go up in levels, there's really little to no flinching. And we sit at a 10 with no problem. And then you strap a man to it. And studies have shown there's a little more hooting and hollering, if you will. Maybe you strap the watermelon and the cantaloupes to your man's. And then after he's been in there for, let's say, we'll be nice, an hour, we then put the TENS machine on underneath of it. Because Braxton Hicks and contractions, you know? We'll see what's up with Jay, and maybe he wants to sign up for it. I'll keep you guys posted. Next up, women who have simply chosen not to have kids are getting a lot of heat lately on TikTok, and literally since the beginning of time, realistically. Fortunately, these 2 women don't give a fuck what you think. Queen Emma, the clip, please.
You're talking to a girl and she says that she does not want children. That is the biggest red flag in the world.
I don't give a fuck.
Nice. Ooh, yes. For our audio listeners, they are dancing around with some outstanding dance moves and quite a few red flags, literal little red flags, outstanding no notes. Now, the judgment around women who don't have children is ridiculous because, and I have said this multiple times, I truly believe I never felt the need for women to have kids. That was never a thought of mine. I never thought to myself, like, all women should have children to fulfill like some fucking, I don't know, prophecy. Bullshit. Don't care. I literally couldn't care less. But when I had kids, I get it more than I've ever gotten it. And that happens both ways. It happens for like, you understand moms differently when you become a mom. Same shit. You understand the women who have put a lot of thought into the fact that they do not want to have kids or have not been able to have kids. Okay. Because I want that to be clear. And again, we always get back to, you don't know if they chose it or didn't. And so I'm going to need you to, yeah, you guessed it. Mind your fucking business. Yikes. I need you to kick rocks. I need you to not say anything. And I need you to mind your business unless you're saying, you know what? Hell yeah. I think to myself sometimes, like if this house were empty, I used to get to actually, oh God, it was glorious. I used to get to sit next to my husband on the couch. It was glorious. It was such a beautiful time in my life. That doesn't happen anymore. Not for now. That's not the season of life we're in. I'm not saying I don't like that I have my kids. I love my children, but I understand more deeply that other people would not choose this life. That's all I'm saying. And I think we should have more awareness to that. And also, those dance moves, fire. And lastly, in a house full of girls, we've definitely had similar makeup or wake up, to quote Benny, incidents. Queen Emma, the clip, please. The clip says, parents, this is why silence is dangerous. Mom is trying to scrub pink. And I'm not talking pink like a cute blush. I'm talking pink off of this child's face. She's probably 3, maybe 4 years old and pink. And then she has since changed. It seems like the next day, still pink. So we had one dicey run-in with some makeup where Benny was putting concealer on her lips as Lippic because I wouldn't give her lipstick. And that was the moment where I was like, I have to give them something, right? I have to give them a little bit of leeway here. So I ended up giving them old washed brushes. So there was no makeup on it, but I would give them brushes when they would ask to do their makeup. It worked out okay. I have not yet had them steal my makeup. I have had Benny continue to steal any and all lip products that are in her vicinity. The girls are not allowed to do my makeup anymore because I thought that I had found a loophole of laying on the ground and letting the girls do my makeup. And I had given them some water at some point so that they could have something on their brush. I believe is how it happened. This was a while ago and I've repressed the memory, but at some point I made the mistake of opening my eyes and realized that they were no longer putting it in the water, that they were actually putting the brushes in their mouths and then continuing to do my wake up. And that will wake you up. I actually said, we're done doing makeup now. I don't want your spittle on my face. That was so gross. I was thinking back, it was kind of gross. The girls have not tried doing Jason's makeup because I don't think he would let it happen. What he will let happen is stickers. He will let them sticker his face endlessly. Well, when I'm not getting my wake up done by tiny humans, because I don't allow that anymore, the real ones have seen my routine right before the podcast, and it all starts with Bare Minerals matte foundation. I have literally used Bare Minerals since high school, I think. I like it because I am a matte finish girly. I don't like a dewy finish. I think that it looks a little odd on me. And when I was in high school, I used to have a really oily T-zone, but that's not your problem. That's my problem. I love it because you can still see your skin through it. It's also buildable and it goes on like a nice blurred filter. But you can still see my freckles. It won't clog your pores, cause breakouts, or settle into fine lines. That's another reason why I used it so religiously, because I didn't have breakouts with it. And your girl, she was prone to a breakout. It's because that oily T-zone. If you know, you know. Real ones can use code NGL for 20% off at bareminerals.com. Try it if you haven't. Seriously, it's so good. All right, that's it for Doom Scroll the Week, brought to you by Bare Minerals. Moving on, let's get right into some fresh Ask Me Some Things questions from the real ones, because Ask Me Anything was far too open-ended. Ask Me Some Things is brought to you this week by NFL Sunday Ticket on YouTube TV. Every game, every Sunday, all in one place. Queen Emma has informed me that this is rapid fire. So this is going to take at least 10 minutes. I'm kidding. We're going to do a rapid fire. Ready, set. First up, from Real One, Lil Reddy. That's a great name. What's a tattoo idea that you would consider getting? A freckle. Okay. hear me out. I want to be able to say I have a tattoo. And then I want to be like, it's right there. You see it? It's right there. Do you see it? I know. I'm tatted. I don't have a single thing that I've thought to myself, I want that on my body forever. Also, my dad did tell me that if I ever got a tattoo in honor of him, he would haunt my ass, which were his words exactly, not mine. So I don't think Big Ed is really on board with tattoos. I don't know. I don't feel the need to get one. If there were ever a moment where one of our daughters came home with a tattoo as a teenager or older, I would hope it was a good one. That's all. I've seen a lot of tattoos where I was like, that's one of the coolest things I've ever seen. That's a beautiful piece of art. That's incredible, unreal, like absolutely stunning. But on the flip side of that, I've seen a lot where I was like, the lines aren't straight. Isn't that going to drive you nuts? So as long as they pick a really great tattoo artist that isn't just messing around with a tattoo gun, I can get behind this. I'm okay with it. Nobody tell them. Don't tell them. God, don't tell them. I don't want to encourage it. If they feel so inclined, we can have that conversation later in life. Ellie will have tattoos. Ellie will have tattoos. I know that for a fact. Don't tell her I told you. I know she's going to be tatted. She loves when people have tattoos and she's my little artist. Rapid fire. Next up, any tips for handling toddler tantrums in public? Yeah, I do have tips for handling toddler tantrums in public. I think that you should handle a toddler tantrum in public without the fear of embarrassment or humiliation because of the crash out. I think that if you feel as though in that moment you need to stick to your guns and let that homie work it out, let them work it out. Let them yell. Let them scream. Let them do their thing. Let them throw themselves on the floor. I mean, they're only looking silly themselves, or stand them up and give them like firm words to their, like, get down to their level and give them firm words. What you're doing right now is unacceptable behavior and you need to stand up on your feet and stop yelling, please. And then when they don't do that, you need to say it without saying please. Stand up on your feet and stop yelling. And that's how I feel about that. I think the most important part of it is that if you bend in those moments, they remember, they're smart, they clock that shit. And so you can't always just be letting them get away with it. It's okay to parent your kids in public. They need to know how to act in public. So obviously toddler tantrums happen for a lot of reasons. They're tired, they're having big feelings, something happened that upset them. It's fine, all valid. But they still have to pull their act together. You know what I mean? This next one, just a heads up, is a question about miscarriage. And if that's a difficult topic for anyone listening right now and you'd prefer to skip ahead, please do so. The question is, were you scared to try again after miscarriage? We miscarried in March and not going to lie, I'm nervous to try. Yes, Sarah, I was terrified. And I will tell you, not that this is a healthy solution, but I'm going to call myself on the carpet for it. Even when we got pregnant, I then every single week was looking up what are the chances that this pregnancy sticks. And then once I got into my second trimester, towards the end of my second trimester, because I was still Googling at the beginning of my second trimester, like, what are the chances I get to meet this baby? At the end of my second trimester, I flipped it. And I then asked the question, what are the chances that if I had the baby today, that the baby could survive? Was it healthy? No. Was it helpful? Yeah, kind of. I think that sits with you forever. And what I will tell you is, Sarah, and I hope that you understand where I'm coming from when I say this, I had those same feelings through the rest of my pregnancies. You experienced a loss. And it's okay to have that grief sit with you. That is going to be something that might pop up when you least expect it. I know that for me, there's certain dates where I'll be like, oh, you were supposed to be here that day. But if I had not tried again, I would not have Wyatt. So I think that sometimes you have to go at the hard thing and try again. I wish you all the luck in the world. I'm sending you all of the baby magic and baby dust. And I am so sorry that you had to experience that, but you are not alone. And I firmly believe that you can get through it. And last question here is one I'm getting a lot in my DMs lately. Will you be supporting teacher wish lists again? Yes, we are. We're going to run it back for back to school this year. And I'd like to put my call to action out to the Real One teachers out there because we want to help as many of you as we can. So for the second year in a row, we're asking all the teachers to please send in a quick video telling us about you and your class and tag at NGL with Kylie. And please send us a link to your list at NGL with Kylie. Don't send it to my Instagram, please, because it gets lost in there in the depths of my DMs. I never know how many lists we're going to fulfill, but it's kind of funsies. Teachers, you guys are amazing. And I appreciate all the work that you do. And I want you to feel that appreciation. So send us your wish lists and tag us in a video. My typical maternity style, if I don't have to leave my house, it's the same as if I leave the house. It's so bad. I had, not exaggerating, probably 10 pairs of maternity jeans. I wore one. And I didn't like the experience. They're the only ones I would wear. Maternity dresses, that honestly, do it. Maternity dresses, they let your belly breathe. If you want to wear anything that's like supportive wear underneath, because sometimes it just feels good to like be like, feel like you're physically supported by an article of clothing. You can wear that under a dress. Also, it just like a nice breeze. A nice breeze up the undercarriage is also really nice. I hate to be so blunt, but it's nice. When your thighs love each other as much as mine do, sometimes a cool breeze is exactly what we need. Yeah, I don't know. And honestly, put me in a potato sack. I'm just so uncomfy when I'm pregnant that I just leave me alone. That's all. I will say, I frequently did, what are they? Lululemon Align pants, the super high rise. They fit me until I gave birth, and they go back to their shape. So you're purchasing pants that work as maternity pants, but are regular pants, which is really nice. I liked those a lot. So that's God, it's like giving me agita thinking about being pregnant. Next up, this mom has a new hack for what to do when your kids ask for yet another new toy. Queen Emma the clip.
Mom,
it says,
can I have this?
me to every new toy my kid sees on the internet. For our audio listeners, her child came up to her while she was making dinner and said, I want this thing. It's like a bath bomb, and shows her something on the phone. And she says, that's AI. Outstanding. I have not yet used this. I am by far, she's probably taking the nicer approach. When my kids ask for something new, I typically say, you can ask for it for your birthday, or you can ask for it for Christmas. Now, the sad part about that is that I am capitalizing on the fact that they have no concept of time. And when I say you can ask for it for your birthday in, let's say, April, to Elliot, she doesn't realize that March 3rd will take quite a bit of time to come back around. Or even if I said in April, you can ask Santa for that. We got a little time between April and December. So the good news is that they have the attention span of a goldfish and they actually forget that they asked for these things. So it has not reared its ugly head yet, but I am for sure in the camp of, guys, I've said it before. I won't lie to you guys, but I will lie to my kids because sometimes that's just good parenting. Sometimes it lessens the blow. Sometimes a little white lie lands it a little softer. But I'm serious about they can ask for it for their birthday or Christmas. My kids don't have an understanding of AI. And they also don't get to freely scroll yet. So it's going to be a minute before that happens. So we don't run into this yet. But they have watched TV with commercials, and that was a rough time. That was a rough time because every, let's say, 10 minutes in the show, they would then go, Mom, that. It's not helpful. I want that. Like, okay. Sometimes we took a picture of the TV screen just to be like, we put it on our Christmas list.